Hi, this is Unruly Anime. Platinum End is the name of today's anime presentation. The first scene of the anime depicts a young person at a convenience store deliberating over whether or not to steal a snack. Later, we discover that the person's name is Mirai. He is at the ledge of a tall building when he says all he ever wanted was to be happy before jumping off. A girl with wings saves him just before he hits the ground. She confirms that she is an angel and reassures him that he is still alive. When he says that she shouldn't have interfered, she says that she was just trying to make him feel better. She knows about his past, how his family died when he was 7, and how his aunt and uncle beat him. As he falls into despair about his life, the angel tells him that she is a high-ranking angel that has come to give him hope. She then gives him the option to choose freedom, represented by her wings, or love, which is represented by a red arrow called the angel's arrow. She reveals that the wings would allow him to go anywhere and move faster than the eye can follow. The angel's arrow, however, will force anyone struck by the arrow to fall deeply in love with him. Unable to make a decision, he asks for both options, and to his surprise, she agrees. The angel then gives Mirai the abilities in the form of an invisible necklace and armband. With angels, he tests his wings and appreciates nature again. Later, the angel informs Mirai of the possibilities now that he has powers. She says that he can control anyone using his arrow and can steal anything he wants without being noticed, thanks to the speed of his wings. He calls her a devil for contemplating those acts, but she says there is no devil. If one existed, it would live in people's hearts. As an example, she uses Mirai's aunt and uncle. To his shock, she says they killed his family and pretended it was an accident. He doubts this, so she suggests he use his skills to find out. Mirai flies home to find his aunt on the couch and uses his red arrow to win her heart. He rejects her advances and asks her if she and his uncle killed his family. She admits to doing it but puts most of the blame on Mirai's uncle. She explains that they did it to inherit a fortune. Mirai's uncle enters the room and he recalls his last family fight with his aunt and uncle. In his upset state, Mirai screams out that the two of them should die for their crime. Being under the influence of the red arrow, Mirai's aunt grabs a knife and uses it to end her life. He underestimated the power of the red arrow and is in disbelief, but the angel says he should not care as she deserved it for what she had done. Mirai goes to call an ambulance, but it is too late as an angel comes to take her away. This moment leads to a memory of his mother telling him that the goal of life is to find happiness. He realizes that he needs to search out happiness not just for himself, but for his deceased family. His angel finally introduces herself as Nasse. Over 3 days, Amira hasn't used his powers. He is broke but says he will not use his powers to do bad things, as that won't make him happy. He describes a more normal type of happiness and Nasse says that she will help, because making him happy is her only goal. He begins to think about how he will get money and Nasse recommends that he kill his uncle and his uncle's kids for the fortune they received unfairly. He gets upset at how casually she can speak about murder. She then goes on to tell him about another arrow he can use. The white arrow attacks instantly and kills. She informs them that high-ranking angels and gods receive these gifts. She says Earth has 13 god candidates like him with personal angels. Out of the 13, one of them will be chosen to replace God somewhere out in the universe. We witness the moment when the current god spoke to the 13 high-ranking angels. He tells them that it is time for them to relinquish his throne and that they are responsible for fulfilling this tradition. The meeting ends as he tells them that they have 999 days to complete the mission. Back to the present, Mirai doubts his ability to become God but is reassured by Nasse when she tells him he should do it for his happiness. He recalls his mother telling him that she thinks you can achieve true happiness when everyone around you is happy. Mirai vows to never use the deadly white arrow and will stop using the red arrow after forcing his uncle to confess to murdering his family. Nasse wants to implement the plan immediately, but Mirai says he must meet the high school admissions deadline. Suddenly, they hear on the news that a movie star named Mr. Rodriguez is watched by an angel. After reading that the actor dated 5 women at once, Mirai concludes that he is one of the red arrow victims. Nasse says that he will still be able to shoot 9 more women. As they are only capable of controlling 14, Mira is concerned and asks her if there is any way to stop the arrows. She tells them that only those with wings cannot run the arrows. Red arrows cannot strike again and fade after 33 days. In the next scene, we see Mr. Rodriguez benefits from his red arrow while with his harem. He claims that it is what gives him a new hope to live. Just then, a masked person in armor opens the door of his vehicle. Mr. Rodriguez is shocked to see that the masked individual uses a white arrow before he is killed. The masked man departs after his death, freeing the women from the spell. After applying, Mira goes home to study for the entrance exam and learns of Mr. Rodriguez's death. After a few days, we discover that the high school has already accepted Mirai. Utilize the red arrow to persuade his uncle to confess and use the stolen inheritance to buy a condo. Nasse wonders why he is not happier, and he says it's because he fears he might not be able to control the immense power he has been given. As they pass the bank, they hear that it is being robbed and that hostages are being held inside, where shots are fired and people shout. The man with the armor from earlier arrives. We learn that he goes by the name Metropolitan. He uses his wings and arrows to convince the police to let him take control. And right away, I instantly realize he is one of the chosen god candidates. Metropolitan uses all the powers at his disposal to defeat the robbers and free the hostages. He uses the attention as an opportunity to talk to any other candidates that might be watching. He tells them that they are all his enemies and he has already defeated one. Mirai tells Nasse to leave in the hopes of avoiding detection, and he walks home alone. Later, Mirai requests that his god candidate status be removed, but is told by Nasse that if she did that, he would lose his powers, which in turn would kill him. They then discuss the difference between ranked angels. Ranked 3 angels have both colored arrows and wings, rank 1 have only red arrows and wings, and rank 2 have either red arrows or wings. Nasse advises Mirai to stay inside, even though he will miss his high school graduation. Mirai refuses to hide because he knows he can never achieve happiness that way. The next day, Mirai heads to school when the all-knowing Nasse recommends he shoot his crush, Saki, with his red arrow. He gets even more embarrassed when she says she knows Saki is why he chose that specific school. He decides not to make her love him and leaves. Later, he arrives at school to find an angel hovering in the sky. He believes he will go unnoticed if he acts normal, seeing as how Nasse is not there. The angel appears immediately when he sees Nasse's reaction. When Mira asks the angel who he is with, the angel said his candidate was standing right behind him. When he turns to see who is behind him, he is shocked to find that it is Saki. She recognizes him and shoots him with a red arrow. He believes the arrow has no effect on him since he already had feelings for her to begin with. Her angel then instructs her to tell Mirai to go to her house and wait for her desperately in love. Mirai agrees and flies away instantly. Mirai's heart pounds loudly as he waits patiently in Saki's room. She arrives later with her angel, and it is clear that Mirai is under the influence of the red arrow. The angel instructs Saki to ask several questions about the powers of Mirai's angel. The angel then tells him that Saki does not have wings, so she cannot dodge arrows to protect herself. He wants Mirai as her wings. They decide to practice flying together, and to do so, they must connect their armbands. They fly as they soar. He notices her discomfort and asks what's wrong, but she says to handle it herself. However, she does say that she was glad to speak with him again after so long. Later, they see in the news that Metropolitan will be on TV. Later, Saki's angel tells them of Metropolitan's plan to pose as the hero to draw out the other candidates. He warns that he will be after Saki soon, and Mirai decides to go after Metropolitan immediately. Before he could leave, though, he was stopped by Nasse telling him that he was being manipulated. She says that it is possible for candidates to take abilities from one another when they are killed, and that Saki's angel Revel was hoping that his or Metropolitan's death would result in Saki getting wings. He still wants to go, but changes his mind as soon as Saki tells him to stay. Revel expresses concern that Mirai might harm Saki once the spell wears off, but Nasse says he will never do such a thing because he has always had feelings for her. Revel agrees to trust the couple, as long as they agree to trust him as well. Revel then asks Mirai to live with Saki until a new guide is chosen, and he agrees. Later, after stopping another criminal, we see Metropolitan at his home. He talks to his angel about his frustrations with waiting for other participants to come forward. He determines they are all just afraid of being killed and decides to take another approach. 33 days later, we see Nasse proving to reveal that even though Mirai is no longer under the effects of the red arrow, he still has strong feelings for Saki. They all then watch the news to see that Metropolitan has changed his tone, claiming that he no longer wants to kill the candidates and instead would like to find peaceful resolutions. The group is not fooled and sees through his plan. Metropolitan ends the broadcast by inviting all the candidates to a popular stadium. Revel thinks they should just stay and watch on television, but Mirai is insistent that he go. Later, Mirai arrives at the stadium and meets with Saki. She warns him not to look at the angels in the sky, and they pair their armbands in case they fly away. Nasse and Rebel watch television. As the meeting time approaches, the crowd counts down. Metropolitan finally arrives, but is immediately followed by two others in armor that both have wings and arrows. Mirai is stunned to see that Metropolitan is not using his wings and shows no signs of fear. The blue armored candidate shoots his arrow, hitting Metropolitan. The arrow hits him, but it is not able to pierce his armor. I appreciate you viewing my anime recap, Unruly Family. Please let me know what you think about this anime recap by liking, sharing, and commenting, and please subscribe to the channel to help us reach 5,000 subscribers.